Hello, the here just a video about position absolute and containing block. So the rule says the containing block for absolutely position elements is the nearest ancestor element that has a position other than static. So here we have our main with two divs. Each div has a span inside. So here's a span and here's a span. I already have a markup here, so I'm just gonna copy and paste. So this is my the rules. Sorry, not markup, but the rules. But let's see what happens here. Okay, to div. So I gave main the width and the margin to center this block on the page. Then divs have also margins to 2 em and the outline of 2 pixels solid. Then the adjacent sibling selector, I used it to give position relative to the second div, and uh, position relative with no offsets. So you just see here position relative and has no offsets. Offsets are those top, bottom, left and right. So, and I just gave it the color red. And the our span, this rule affects both spans here and here, but they behave differently because the first div, sorry, yeah, this one, the first div has no position set on it. So on the first, in the first scenario, this span is positioned with respect to initial containing block. Okay, and the second span is the span in the second div is positioned with respect to actually the div because we have it we put the position relative, we gave it position relative to the second div. So the second div establishes the uh, what is called positioning context for this span. But let's see what happens in the browser. Okay, so what's interesting about here, as I mentioned, so this is our first div, and this is the span which belongs to the first div. You see where it end up. So let's review again the rules that we gave to this, I mean, the rules to the first scenario. So the first scenario is the span is positioned with respect to its containing block. So the initial containing block actually, and the what is the initial containing block is for this is usually the containing the size of the browser viewport. So whatever we see here, this is the initial containing block, this one. So this div, sorry, this span is positioned with respect to this containing block. And some browsers they use HTML element as the initial containing block, and some browsers they use body element. So this is the first scenario, and the second scenario is you see here. Second one I gave position relative. I also just gave it for visual purposes, just gave it color red so you can see it's more distinctly. That's the second div with position relative, and this is the span within the second div. So this one is this span. Also what to note here is in the position absolute that we gave to the span, so what makes it stick to the bottom right corner in both cases here. So the span, so it sticks to the bottom right hand corner here and here, and it's happening because of this right and bottom zero. So that's why it sticks to that. So I hope it was helpful, guys, and as always, thank you for watching.